everybody, Lance is back with the Daily Quickie, and yes, that is Phil Collins on the screen. Now, there's a reason why he's on the screen, and not just because he shares a birthday with me coming up in January. He is going back on tour. Now, folks, he had a fall over the weekend. Now, according to what he said on his Facebook page, he's okay. But there's a lot of music news going on right now. Now, here, as you can see in the picture, it says Phil Collins not dead yet live. Now, this video is very, very long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to collapse myself and start this video, and we're going to discuss what's going on as far as music this week. And we get to the right screen here.
Living in Miami, living with the kids, I was getting a lot of encouragement from them. This is Matthew, who's 11, and Nick, who's 15. Plus the older kids, Lily, Simon, and Jolie as well. They were kind of, thinking you should get out there, Dad. You should get out there and keep doing it. I think that they thought that my retirement was a little premature, but I also really did want to stop to be with the kids and be a dad. Now I am a dad, I can leave. So it's a question of actually seeing, a bit of sense in that. I was talking to a lot of people. People were talking to me over the last couple of years and saying, we miss you. Nobody does really what you do, and it would be great if you came back and did some shows. And I these kind of comments started to weigh up with me, and I thought, well, why aren't I doing it? Am I not doing it just because of principle, or because I said I'd retired? Okay, well, I changed my mind. Hard luck, Yes, the young ones have obviously wanted to know what Dad did in the war, So they'll go on YouTube, or they'll put a DVD in and listen to a couple of things, and I'll look over their shoulder, and see. Yeah, it was good, like the show in the round we did live and loose in Paris in '97. We did 2004 first final farewell tour. They were great shows, and we had a great band. So why not do it again? It's just it'll be fun. The state of play at the moment is I had back surgery because of this 60 years of drumming. Really messed my back up, and it messed my hips up as well. Just 60 years of doing this. I had back surgery to sort that out, but it's left me, as of now, a year ago, it's left me with what they call drop foot, which is a foot, my right foot, doesn't have any up and down, doesn't have any, feeling. That I'm hoping in time will get better as nerves regenerate. So I will be, it's on the top of my to-do list in terms of getting some physical, physical stuff done. I mean, I'm doing water therapy, which is very good. But I think it's going to be, I've been away long enough for a greatest hits tour not to bore people. I think, the fans, and I'm assuming we're talking about fans, they'll list, I think they'll be happy listening to the stuff that they're familiar with. And obviously there'll be some things in there that will be surprises that, oh, we haven't heard that for like 15, 20 years. So I'm hoping that it will be a good show. I didn't really think twice about it, frankly. It's part of what happened, it's part of my story, I mean, I didn't drink for 3 years, and I can have a glass of wine, or 2 or 3, but that's as far as it goes. I don't drink spirits, which I did do, and I was hurting my body, it was just... I was in hospital with the tubes out of my neck, when they left to go to Miami. You know, I couldn't say goodbye to them. There were things like that which, in a way, I just felt that I should write about this, because this is the Phil Collins that people think is kind of invincible and squeaky clean, you know. And I just felt better for writing about it. And also it may, you know, may help someone, may not, may give people courage to talk about it. Living in my...
And there you have it, folks. That was a long, long video by Phil Collins. Now look, people who know me knows I'm one of my favorite musicians of all time is Phil Collins. Now my understanding has always been from the beginning he had retired due to his losing his hearing. Now I did not know he blew his back out. Now that part I'll be the first person to admit I did not know. Now I have no idea what drop foot is. Now for those of you that are drummers out there that might be watching this video, please let me know exactly what it is, because is this a serious thing for a drummer? Because it sounds like it is. Now tickets go on sale Friday, October the 21st. Now I haven't looked yet, only person because I want to see the day the tickets come out, because I want to go, but obviously it's going to be pricing. And being Phil Collins, it's going to be ultra expensive. So stay tuned at philcollins.com just to see how much the ticket's going to be as far as dates. Now moving on in this video. Chuck Berry was in the news yesterday. Now, Chuck Berry, as you can see here in the Reuters article, is 90 years old. And it says at 90, Chuck Berry to release his first album in 4 decades. Now this was kind of shocking because I wasn't expecting this at all. I really wasn't. It says here in the article, rock and roll legend Chuck Berry celebrated his 90th birthday on Tuesday by announcing that his first album of new music in 38 years would be released next year. Simply called Chuck, the album would consist of mostly new, original material recorded and produced by Berry, his record company said. Berry's children, Charles Berry Jr. on guitar and Ingrid Berry on harmonica, formed part of his backing band on the record. Specific date of the album's release was not mentioned. Okay, first things first. I'm probably thinking mid-summer next year, so I'm just speculating, but don't hold me to that. Now, he has said that, here's what his son said. What an honor to be part of this new music, he said in a statement. The St. Louis band, or as Dad calls the Blueberry Hill Band, fell right in the groove and followed his lead. These songs covered the spectrum from hard-driving rockers to soulful, thought-provoking time capsules of a life's work. Now, you know, he said, now Berry said he was dedicating the new album to his wife of 68 years, Delmetta. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I totally apologize. My darling, I'm growing old. I've worked on this record for a long time. Now I can hang up my shoes, the musician said in a statement. Now with songs like Maybelline, Roller Beethoven, and Johnny B. Good in the late 50s, Berry helped lay the foundation of modern rock music that was a major influence of the 1960 band, including the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Now look, that statement is 100% accurate. I had to go back when I first read this and listen to the song, I'm Talking About You. I mean, it's a nice, fast song, but that set the stage for the 1960s. It really did. He was a pioneer. So, for all you people that are way older than me that falls into that age bracket, stay tuned, because something tells me this album's going to be really good. Now, you know, this next article brings me to the final part of my story today, and that is, and you see it on the screen. This dropped yesterday. This was the 2017 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominee fan vote. Now, I know music is like art, is subjective, but I'm looking at this list yesterday when it was announced, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, going off this list, here's what I think. This is just my opinion. Now, before I begin, Electric Light Orchestra and I can't find it now, and Steppenwolf. Okay, they deserve to be nominated. No questions asked. So that's totally justified. Now Joan Baez and Joe Tex, from what they did beyond music, okay. Okay, I can see why they would be nominated. So after thinking about it for a day, okay, I can see that. This is where the list gets dicey. Bad Brains. Okay. I know of them. Now, okay, I can see why they put them on there for being popular music. Okay. No problem. Shaka Khan. This is one of those ones where, okay, you go into the 70s and 80s. Okay, she meets the minimum requirements of 25 years from her first studio release. I just don't see it. She did a lot for music, but not Hall of Fame material, at least not yet. Give it about 5-6 more years. Check. No way. I'm just trying to figure that one out in my head. Depeche Mode. Okay, as a child of the 80s, I like Depeche Mode. Now, do they warrant a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nomination? I don't know. I really don't know. Please let me know if they do. Now, moving further down the list. Jay Gall's band. Okay. You got Centerfold, you got Love Stinks, and for right now, I can't think of any other songs off the top of my head. No. They don't warrant a nomination. I like them, but don't warrant. Okay. This next two is a package. Jane's Addiction and Pearl Jam. Now, 90s music, and particularly grunge or that type of style, okay, they were popular. I just don't see it. I don't see how to get on the list. I really, really don't. I'm sorry, guys. You love the bands. I mean, I really, really like them, but I just don't see it. Next up, and this is going to piss a lot of people off, Janet Jackson. Okay, Janet Jackson is one hell of a talent. Go back and listen to Ribbon Nation 1814. That's one of the best R&B albums of that decade. It really, really is. But Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's a toss-up. It really, really is. She's been around for a very long time, and this is somebody who didn't piggyback another family member. That's very, very rare when that happens. The first person that pops in my head that didn't piggyback a sibling or a father or mother is Alan Parsons. That's the first person I think of, with somebody like that. Because after all, Alan's father was Glenn, so they pretty much parallel far as that. As far as Hall of Fame inductions, like I said, it's a toss-up. Scrolling down the list, Journey. Okay. Don't Stop Believin' is one of the biggest songs of the 80s. No question about that. Now, as far as the stadium rock bands of the early 80s, early to late 80s, okay, please let me know who from that time period would you put in before Journey. Now take out the glam rockers when you make that comment about that, or an email, or on my Facebook page. Please let me know. Next one, Kraftwerk. Okay, guys, now look. I know of Kraftwerk. We had a station here in Northeast Ohio that played the European scene on Saturday nights. And unless you were really deep in that European musical scene back then, you really don't know who they are. And let me tell you something. For what they did, they were pioneers. Now, they'll get a lot of votes out of Europe. Here in the States, and like I said, unless you were really deep in that scene, and I know a lot of people that are my friends, but I'm talking about mainstream here in the United States, you really don't hear them. You really hear of them, excuse me. Now, what they did is influential, at least in my opinion, into the 90s American techno scene. And that sounds weird. They were that big with Trailblazers, they set the stage for that. Now, the musicians know exactly what I'm talking about as far as that, but please elaborate on what I just said. MC5, let's look at the tail of the tape on this one, if it pops up for me. It says, with the politically insurgent rhetoric and cultural shedding ideologies, Detroit rockers, the Motor City Five, also known as the MC5, embodied the late 60s social and musical revolutions. Musically, they are quainted, just inflammatory. The group's memorable combo of fiery blues and R&B, introduced Photro Punk, as shown on albums such as the 1969's Kick Out the Jams, has influenced everyone from Black Flag to Rage Against the Machine. Okay, far as the political bands, it's a very specific genre of music. Now, I'm a huge Rage Against the Machine fan. I always have. Now, far as pioneers, okay, I gotta admit, I go back and listen to some of their music. So, okay, I'll leave it at that. The Cars. Now, the Cars has been around for a long, long time, and like I said, they were very popular. Their music's still popular to this day. I consider that one's borderline. I'll be the first person to admit that one is completely, totally borderline. Same with the Zombies. They're straight borderline. I'll leave it at that before this turns into an hour-long video. This is where I got the big issues. Tupac Shakur. Now look, I understand they had to put somebody from that era on this list. But there's two reasons, I think, for that. Number one, just like I said, they had to put somebody on that list from that era to justify, to keep everybody's mouth shut. And I'm talking about, the people like, have somebody from the gangster rap era on there. Okay. Now, if you actually listen to his music, strip out that part of it. I'm talking about the soul embrace songs. Like I'll use Dear Mama. If you actually listen to that song, it's actually really, really good. Even though it has the gangster rap elements, it really wasn't there. I mean, music-wise, he was there, but the other reason why he's on this list is basically the urban legend how he died. Now, I've always made the joke for years, he's working the desert somewhere with Elvis and the Aliens, but I'm going to leave it at that. That one, honestly, I got to say, he shouldn't be on the list at all. And I don't. He doesn't have enough of a resume in my eyes to warrant to be on that list. And finally, Yes. Now, my good buddy Ian always says, say no to Yes, because he hates them. Because I love Yes. They've been around long enough. This one is borderline also. I say Yes because, and no pun intended, because I love them and the music justify it, because the European scene back then was white hot. And they stood out. They really, really did. A lot of people's going to say no. But please let me know also. Well, folks, I'm going to get off here today. Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll put the link in there if you want to vote yourself. That is the Daily Quickie for October the 19th, 2016.